the moment that ignited the internet. The excitement in the venue had already been building for hours, but no one expected that the moment which would dominate global conversation would last barely a second. Jungkook had been casually interacting with the crowd, responding to the bright cameras and the familiar energy that surrounded him. Everything felt usual, relaxed, the type of environment where idols loosen their shoulders and act more naturally than they do during formal performances. But then, in an instant, something shifted. Taehyung turned to look at Jungkook, a simple movement, but one that caused a visible reaction. Jungkook, caught mid-motion, seemed to freeze, and then subtly stepped back. The cameras caught everything: the hesitation, the breath he seemed to hold, and the micro-expression that crossed his face. And most importantly, Taehyung's soft, almost knowing smile. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't loud, but it was enough. That smile, paired with Jungkook's retreat, became the beginning of a wildfire. Fans began replaying the clip, uploading angles captured by phones, zooming in, slowing down the footage, and analyzing every detail. Within minutes, the interaction had spread through social media like a spark on dry leaves, and by the time the event ended, the moment had already etched itself into the collective consciousness of millions. A silent history behind the reaction. What made this single interaction stand out wasn't just the moment itself, but the entire history behind it. For years, Jungkook and Taehyung's dynamic has been described as one of the most uniquely expressive relationships in the world of K-pop. They share a bond that seems to exist behind the obvious, a connection that doesn't rely on words. Fans often say that the two communicate through glances, micro-expressions, and the small moments in between the chaos of idol life. Their long history, from their trainee days to now, is filled with moments that reflect an intuitive understanding between them. Taehyung often watches Jungkook quietly, and Jungkook softens noticeably around Taehyung in ways that are subtly different from how he acts with others. There is a familiarity, a tenderness, and sometimes a shyness that surfaces unexpectedly. So when Jungkook stepped back at that particular moment, and Taehyung answered with a smile that seemed to say more than words, fans immediately connected it to the patterns they had been observing for years. This wasn't an isolated instance. It was part of a much larger picture, a mosaic of gestures, shared memories, and unspoken dialogues that have defined their relationship over time. The online eruption. The internet reacted instantly. As soon as the first clip was posted, fans flooded platforms with excited responses. Without organization or planning, they collectively formed a global wave of conversation. The moment sparked an eruption that spread across countries, languages, and time zones. Comments poured in from every continent as people dissected Jungkook's surprise and Taehyung's smile with the intensity usually reserved for major plot twists or historical revelations. Every second of the 1-second clip was scrutinized. Editors put the footage into slow motion, color-enhanced versions began circulating, and countless fans added captions to express what they believed happened between the two. Some insisted Jungkook acted like someone who had been unexpectedly caught in an intimate moment. Others highlighted how natural Taehyung seemed, how steady and unbothered, almost amused in a gentle way. It was the kind of online storm only BTS could generate, a moment so subtle yet so powerful that it dominated feeds for days. And the most extraordinary part? No words were spoken. No microphones caught anything. All of it came from expression, instinct, reaction, and silence. Taehyung's smile, a quiet revelation. Taehyung has always had an expressive face. He smiles easily, but each of his smiles carries its own meaning: playful, mischievous, comforting, thoughtful. But this smile was different. It was slow, soft, unforced, and seemed to appear even before Jungkook completed his retreat. The way Taehyung looked at him with a sort of gentle amusement made it seem as though he understood exactly what Jungkook was feeling. The smile wasn't directed at the crowd, nor at any cameras. It was directed entirely at Jungkook. Fans who watched closely described it as a smile reserved only for someone he feels deeply connected to. There was familiarity in it, a calmness that conveyed reassurance. The moment felt deeply personal, almost private, yet caught in front of thousands of fans. People noted that it wasn't just a smile. It was a reaction full of history. It was the look of someone who has seen that exact kind of shy hesitation before. Someone who knows the other person well enough to respond instinctively, gently, without hesitation.
Jungkook's subtle retreat. If Taehyung's smile was the quiet revelation, Jungkook's reaction was the spark that made it meaningful. He shifted back as if startled by emotion rather than fear. His eyes widened just slightly, and there was a fleeting moment where he looked unsure, almost shy. It was an expression that fans described as rare but not unfamiliar, the kind of reaction Jungkook shows when something touches him emotionally or catches him off guard. He didn't look uncomfortable. Instead, he looked softened, almost caught in a moment too personal to display in front of everyone. The retreat was small, perhaps only a step, but symbolic. It showed vulnerability, the kind that slips through only when someone is caught being their truest self. Fans who have watched Jungkook for years immediately recognized this subtle shift. Many described it as him reverting to the shy version of himself that appears around the people he's closest to. This is what made the moment feel genuine. It didn't look rehearsed, performed, or exaggerated. It was instinct. The setting that made everything unscripted. What added even more weight to the moment was the fact that it happened in a relaxed setting, not during a high-pressure stage performance or a filmed interview. Jungkook and Taehyung were simply existing, moving casually without the rigid posture of idols on duty. This environment allowed their natural personalities to surface. Events like this often reveal more than official broadcasts because they catch idols in candid states. There were no choreographers dictating movement, no managers giving directions, and no script to follow. In this atmosphere, small interactions become magnified because they're real. The authenticity of the moment is precisely why fans reacted so strongly. It wasn't staged, it wasn't intentional, it was simply two people being themselves. Endless interpretations and fan debates. As with any major moment involving BTS, interpretations varied widely. Some fans believed the interaction confirmed a deeper emotional connection between the two, pointing to years of similar moments as evidence. Others argued that it represented the natural comfort and brotherhood the members share after spending over a decade together. Conversations grew into long threads. Analyses were posted, comparing this incident to past moments. Some said Jungkook's reaction was too soft to be purely platonic. Others insisted Taehyung's smile was the kind you give only to someone you know deeply. There were debates, disagreements, and heartfelt essays, but through it all, the excitement remained shared. Regardless of the different viewpoints, almost everyone agreed that the interaction was real, genuine, and layered with meaning. It was the type of moment that reinforced why fans are so deeply connected to BTS's relationships, because they feel so human and so honest. Media coverage and public attention. Entertainment media quickly picked up the story, turning a seemingly ordinary moment into one of the day's most talked about entertainment topics. Articles emerged analyzing the interaction, some focusing on Jungkook's unexpected hint of shyness, others on Taehyung's unwavering gentleness. Even journalists unfamiliar with the nuances of the found the moment compelling enough to write about. The incident mirrored many past moments where BTS unknowingly created global waves through simple gestures. It showcased once again how deeply the public cares about their chemistry, their authenticity, and their relationships. What the moment suggests about their bond. Whether seen as romantic, platonic, or simply soulful, the moment highlighted something undeniable. Jungkook and Taehyung share a bond that remains unwavering despite time, distance, and the pressures of massive stardom. Their connection seems rooted not in labels, but in understanding, the ability to read each other's emotions instantly and respond without hesitation. Jungkook's retreat and Taehyung's smile weren't opposites. They were two halves of the same reaction. One expressed surprise, the other expressed understanding. Together, they painted a picture of closeness that words cannot fully describe. It was a reminder that their relationship, whatever form it takes, is real, alive, and complex. An endless legacy. In the end, the entire moment lasted only a second. A single exchange of glances, a small step back, a quiet smile. Yet its impact rippled across the world. Fans replayed it endlessly, some laughing, some emotional, many feeling as though they had witnessed something gentle and unspoken. That 1 second became a symbol of history, of connection, of unfiltered emotion. It reminded the world that not all meaningful moments are loud or dramatic. Some are quiet, some are accidental. Some happen when two people simply look at each other. And sometimes, a smile is enough to make everything clear.